Hello.
What's going on, everyone?
What is going on? Welcome to episode number 11 of the MUTAGENTS live stream. How are you boys doing?
Very good. Very good.
Fantastic. Feels like forever. I think we went 5 weeks. 5 weeks this time, and
absence makes the heart grow fonder. So all revved up for tonight's episode. Let's say good day to everybody in the chat, and then we'll rip through it because we've got a lot to cover tonight. So we've got a fun episode lined up. So we've got Johnny in the chat. G'day, Johnny. Hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you had a nice weekend. We've got Matt. Hey, Matt. Thanks for tuning in, mate. Hope you're well. We've got Deano. I'm imagining Dino's probably listening to us on his way to the gym. That seems to be how it goes for Mondays for Dino. So we appreciate you hanging out with us, mate. Who else have we got? We got Jewel. G'day, Jewel.
Hello, Jewel.
Hanging out. We got Nate. Hey, buddy.
How are you, mate? Job on Casey the other day.
We've got Mrs. Insane in the Toy Brain.
That's new title.
That's Dan, isn't it?
Yes, that's me. I'm transitioning. Nah.
We got John all the way from Canada. G'day, John.
Amazing collection, by the way.
I know. How good is it? I'm loving it. John's definitely lighting up my Instagram, which is it's good to see. Hey, Nick.
You got Nick.
Hey, Maddie.
We've
got Adam.
G'day,
Adam. We've got Scree. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Scree. How you going, buddy?
We've got Sean.
Hey,
Sean. Thanks for tuning in, mate. Hope you're well.
Man,
and that brings us up to speed. So
that is a good crowd to start.
Oh yeah,
good crowd to get us going. We'll say g'day to more people I'll do that right now. G'day, Phil.
Hey, Phil.
Appreciate you tuning in, mate. But yeah, we've got a packed lineup tonight, so we've got a lot to cover. We like turtles, and we're going to talk about them for the next hour and a half or so. We've got Minikins. Hey guys.
Hey.
Legends. How are you, boys?
So. Yes, a bit to cover today. First of all, as you probably know, if you're a fan of the Turtles, it seems like TMNT as an intellectual property has been forcing it down our throat this year. But it is the 40th anniversary of TMNT, so we'd be remiss if we don't touch on that. Celebrate it. I haven't baked a cake, unfortunately. We're not going to be singing Happy Birthday, but I do have an adult beverage here, so we can raise a glass. Just reflect on that a little bit. After that, we've got a lineup of all the latest TMNT releases that Dan's going to be running us through. We're going to do some figure spotlights, which is fun, covering different generations of Turtles figures for the first time, which is going to be really cool to do. Dean's going to bring us home with a PlayLab concept, applying the HasLab model to a TMNT crowdfund style project. What are some ideas? And would it be something that we would get involved with? And what are our thoughts on that whole thing? And what might be some cool things that would work in that sort of model? So, and definitely keen to get some input from the chat on that, as well as all the topics. But first, let's kick it off just by raising a glass to our turtles, who are very much not teenagers anymore. They are absolutely middle-aged turtles. So happy 40th.
I forgot to get something.
That's all right, mate. That's all right.
I have water.
You got something there? Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Happy 40th, Turtles.
You can say I was well prepared then.
Hard stuff tonight. No Heineken, unfortunately. The fridge is there. But yeah, I mean, like we were chatting about before we went live, I mean, it's a pretty crazy milestone. When you think about the various cartoons and action figure lines of the 80s and 90s, I've always thought of Turtles as like the young one. You know what I'm saying? Like Star Wars, obviously a pop culture phenomenon from the late 70s onwards. Motu, Transformers, G.I. Joe, very much like 80s stalwarts, and TMNT at the kind of back end of that. So it is pretty crazy, that TMNT is 40. To your point before we went live, then it kind of makes you reflect on your own age as well, which is a crazy one. But definitely keen if you guys have any interesting kind of reflections on the Turtles turning 40. But one thing that it really makes me think about is, when we did our 1987 Series 1 cartoon retrospective, in doing some research for that, one of the things I learned was that Playmates were heavily involved in terms of like the funding and conceptualization for the first season of the cartoon. But from there onwards, they pretty much left Fred Wolf to do it because they weren't really keen. They didn't see any value in really keeping the cartoon going in terms of their involvement. Because one thing that came about in my research is Playmates initially thought that the Turtles had 3 years in them, insofar as like a pop culture, a property of value to kids. Playmates saw a 3-year lifespan. So it's pretty crazy that in 2024, Playmates are still releasing Turtles figures and more of them than ever before in terms of reissues and obviously Mutant Mayhem and Tales of TMNT and all the other stuff that they're doing. So, it's pretty crazy that we find ourselves at 40 years. But any thoughts that you guys have as far as 4 decades of TMNT?
I just wanted to quickly touch on a couple of the cool names that are coming out of the chat there. Now we've all seen the video that someone made of the middle-aged Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you haven't, go and check that out. The little shorts of what they're up to now. But also Nate's got Heroes with Back Pains, Turtle Power.
It's so true.
I think that's great. But besides looking at myself and going, wow, 40 years. I'm 40 this year. There was that time in the middle where we stopped watching Turtles. I know, definitely. Like the 03 line, for me, I still haven't gone back and watched that thing in its entirety. So I guess it doesn't feel to me 40 years. It feels a little bit more like 30 or 25 years that it's really been with me. But yeah, all my memories are just the vintage cartoons, the first, second, and third movies, and that really bad live TV show, because that's when I stopped, because I was like, all right, Turtles have lost their mind now.
Yeah, that's what put you off.
It did. That's what. And then it was around the same time. You were getting a bit older, but that show was pretty cringy to watch. So I think that's when I stopped.
And look, one point that I forgot to mention earlier, when it relates to the Turtles turning 40, is we haven't reached the 40th anniversary of the action figure line or the cartoon or the first feature film. We're talking about the actual release of the 1984 original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 1 from Eastman and Laird. So, we've still got a few more years before the action figure line turns 40, before the cartoon turns 40. But as far as TMNT as a property, definitely not teenagers anymore.
That'll be a cool time. And Dan, you can go next. But I was just thinking, when the turtle line reaches 40, when the toy line reaches 40, I wonder what crazy things they're going to have in store for that. But Dan, your thoughts on 40 years?
So amazing feat, really. Like 40 years of a toy line, just not even a toy line, a whole just world. Like it's starting out as a comic. I did see a post this year, and it was from Eastman himself, where I think it was like in April sometime this year, they got the comic books arrive. It was a picture of them when they first arrived in their little dingy apartment sort of thing. And that was like the first ever print of a comic. And yeah, it's just pretty amazing to hear that 40 years ago that started, and then what it's led into over the time. Like, you're looking at generations of different children growing up on completely kind of different Turtles in a way, but they're always been the same brothers. It's just different attitude and all that sort of stuff. But
yeah,
it's an amazing way they've been able to do that too. Like with other toy lines, they might try to reincarnate it, but it'll be very similar. But like, if you look at it over time, it's changed drastically in different ways sometimes, So, but to do that and still be success, amazing. How you going, guys?
Well, you look at that rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and like, that's just in my brain. That's not even anything close to any of the like carnations of Turtles that I've seen. Like, that is a difficult watch.
I guess that's where it is hard, like, to pick up a different. Like, I struggle to watch the newer stuff, where I should just sit on my ass and just do it, because it's like anything. You try to start any sort of season, if the first couple episodes is boring, it kind of turns you off it. But
40 years for some green guys with a turtle shell, like, how the hell did something like that last for so long?
Well,
Like,
that's just it. I mean, it was started as a joke. You know, it was started as just a fun little exchange of ideas. You know, Eastman and Laird just having it. And look, the other thing is, it started as a joke between those two, just one-upping themselves to create these outrageous characters.
Yeah.
But it also started as a riff on Daredevil. I don't know if we've discussed this previously, and there might be some people that know this, you know, and might be some people that don't. But TMNT is absolutely, you know, something that was created initially to satirize the Daredevil storyline. You know, the in Daredevil, there was a similar sort of mutagen that gave him his powers. The villains were, I believe, the hand ninjas or something like that.
The hand.
A lot of similarities in the names.
There was a sensei called Stick. I mean, there's you know, and then we get Splinter. So there's a lot of elements that came from Daredevil. And I think, I mean, I'm not a big Daredevil guy, but I think you'd be hard pressed to not say that the Turtles well and truly exceeded that in terms of pop culture influence. And the other thing is, Dan, you mentioned change, like different versions. When I think about the Turtles turning 40, you know, all credit must go to Eastman and Laird. If not for those guys, the whole thing wouldn't have been created in the first place. But, you know, there's multiple.
Jack Kirby, wasn't it? Wasn't it Jack Kirby for Daredevil? And that was the reason they read Daredevil and sort of got into comics, because Jack Kirby wrote that.
I'm not 100% sure, but quite possibly. I can't say for certain.
Mentors.
But you know, obviously Eastman and Laird created it, but insofar as like creating this juggernaut that had the staying power to be able to have a whole generation that was so nostalgic that it kind of kept it around during those quieter periods for the Turtles. It's not just Eastman and Laird. It's obviously, you know, it's Playmates, it's Fred Wolf Studios, it's Henson Studios with the you know, there's a lot of different contributors to that. Some of the things that are synonymous with Turtles, like pizza and cowabunga, like they weren't in that original comic. So, you know, maybe if it hadn't have been picked up and then repackaged for a kid's audience, maybe it wouldn't have had that staying power. Maybe it would have found that in another form through another toy company, in another, you know, in another style of film. You just never know. That's the interesting thing to look back on, you know.
Playmates had a hell of a branding team.
Oh yeah. There's a comment there from Phil. Which I've never really thought of the toy line. You want to bring that one up?
This one?
Yeah. I've never really thought about it because I've always thought about it as like 90s, 80s toy lines very much focused boys or girls. And Turtles these days, they really do branch out to both. So yeah, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, definitely. And to Yeeha's point here, no memory from 1992 onwards. Maybe 1993, I was still into Turtles, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, other things take over for me as a kid. Wrestling took over, and then you know, other things after that. And you know, to Dean's point, you know, you there's times in your life, whether it's in your childhood or you know, as an adult collector, where you're very much TMNT is a part of your life, and there's times where it's not. So, and I think that's another reason why it's such a spin out that it's been 40 years, because there's whole decades of my life where I've probably barely thought about it. You know what I mean? Yeah, aside from the odd 2014 Michael Bay film or something like that that makes me think about it again, you know?
Yeah.
Do you ever miss those times and think, wow, I wish I did still love Turtles as much during those periods of your life? Or do you just accept that you stepped away for a while?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with, you know, stepping away from things, and because they never leave you altogether, and it allows you to come back really reinvigorated. Like, this is a different topic, but sometimes I think about nostalgia as almost like a fuel. Now, I've been collecting toys at this point, like, so I've been collecting TMNT for longer now than I played with TMNT as a kid. And it's almost like, at what point will that nostalgia, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, is it like a finite thing that you can use up to the point where it's like my collecting memories are way more like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like that nostalgia is like kind of is like a well that's run dry. I don't know. But so I think it's, you know, if I got back in, if I started collecting toys 30 years ago, maybe I wouldn't have the same joy that I do right now, where I'm still earlier on. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, no, I get you. That was something when you touched on that Michael Bay film. While I kept my eye out for Turtles things, anything new they brought out just wasn't that first Turtles that we all loved. So it didn't make me go running to watch those new movies. Even that 2007, that first CGI movie, which is a pretty good movie now. If you haven't seen it,
you know something funny though that I just realized is so in 2013, 2014, I couldn't have cared less about TMNT in terms of like my day-to-day life. I wasn't collecting, I wasn't reading any comics, but when I saw when I heard news of a TMNT movie coming out, I got like really excited. I remember being like, gosh, there's not been a film that's come out that I've wanted to see this much for ages. And let's not talk about whether we like those films or not or whatever, because I'm sure we'll cover those at a different time. But as much as TMNT wasn't part of my life, I do remember how excited I was that there was a turtle film on the big screen again. Like it's almost like I get to see an old friend again for the first time, even though it obviously was a very different look and feel and tone. I do remember the excitement when that came out.
What's Maddie doing?
Just give me $20, mate.
Matt, I distinctly told you not to do that.
You got your first super chat, man. Congratulations.
Oh, come on, man. Matt, you didn't have to do that, mate.
Fireworks.
Does he get it? Does he get it, or do we have to split that?
No, we'll split it. I owe you boys a beer. Look,
you get $5 each.
Beers are on you, man.
No, the $2.50 each because our benevolent YouTube overlords take their cut.
Yeah.
But still, I owe you a beer, Matt. I don't have a clip for you, buddy. Yesterday I was trying to find a TMNT thank you clip just because Matt was threatening to leave a super chat, and I said, please don't do this, please don't do it.
You should get the cartoon one where he's just like, "Cowabunga, dude."
Yeah, maybe I need that. I was trying to find a TMNT like thank you clip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like him saying thank you to a pizza delivery guy or something. I just couldn't find anything that worked. So I apologize, Matt. But thank you very much.
They weren't well mannered. The turtles.
Thank you, buddy.
That is very nice of you to do. So thank you, mate.
Sorry, what were you saying before that?
Well, Yeehard's just taking me back to that point. Do you feel like nostalgia is like a flame that keeps burning? Like, I suppose so. I mean, maybe you'd have to ask someone like Matt that's been collecting for like 20 to 30 years. Like, is nostalgia permanent? Like, or is it almost like something that you can use up? You know what I mean? I don't know.
I think for all of us, I think we all either started or got back into it in our like early 30s. And I think it was the excitement and nostalgia of either what you had or what you were getting at that time. But I think now, especially for me, as someone that's turning 40, I feel like I appreciate that nostalgia more. And I feel like that I can, while I don't get like, I'm not getting like super giddy and excited every second that I'm looking at my turtle figures. I appreciate the nostalgia that I have for each and everything. And I think that is what keeps the fire burning longer than just being like super excited every 10 years and you dig it all out again. Like that's my look at it anyway.
Yeah, well, Deano's spoken. Deano from Geek Strong has been collecting for a heck of a long time, and he says it's permanent. I don't know if I've explained it right, but I'll just make this point, and then obviously we'll move on to other turtle things. Deano's saying he's 55 and been collecting most of his life, and it's permanent. The point that I'll make is like, so Dan for my birthday was kind enough to hook us up with a video game emulator, and I've been playing. Like there is something special about playing a video game that I played as a kid for the first time since I was a kid. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so I played like Alex Kidd in Miracle Worlds 1, Altered Beast on
Did the music get you?
Altered Beast on Mega Drive's another, and it's like those first that first sitting of playing that game for the first time since I was a kid is almost like something visceral to the point where like it really does take you back. But then I've got Super Nintendo games that I played constantly as a kid, and now I've been playing them for years as an adult. And it's almost like the adult memories get blended in with the childhood memories, and I can't like draw that line in the sand anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense.
it's a bit of a different topic of video games, and it's one that I do want to touch on in a full episode. But
of course, I'm going off topic here, but
no. But what you were saying was and Dan said that music, that first music when you start up some games, especially like SNES Donkey Kong Country, like that music just rings all kinds of bells. That still is exciting to get. I get none of that playing Xbox. Anything from Xbox generation PS2 upwards.
Yeah,
I don't get any nostalgic buzz. I might play the game again because it was fun, but there's absolutely no nostalgic buzz in there. And I think we are a little off topic.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, look, that's the fun of a live stream. You know, we've got to give ourselves a little bit of freedom to be able to go where the conversation goes. But we'll bring it back. And before we do, one point that I just wanted to mention that I meant to raise right off the bat, and I apologize for any confusion. Obviously, we're missing Enzo, our fourth mutagent. Enzo, we've been chatting with Enzo. Enzo's got a heck of a lot going on work-wise, and you know, Mondays for him are just are really, really tricky. So he's just bowing out for the time being. But that fourth slot is his. So he might dip in and out when he has time. But just in case anyone's wondering where Enzo's gone, we're still very much in quartet.
Time zone's hard for him to.
Time zone, exactly.
It's
work.
Like 5:30 there at the moment, I think, or something.
It is. So we're holding the fort for the time being, and we'll see how ends goes. But just in case anyone's wondering. So, yeah. So I mean, that's our 40th anniversary chat. I mean, yeah, it's a big milestone. So we just wanted to make a point of touching on it and celebrating it because you know it's a pretty special time. So we'll leave it at that, unless you guys had any other 40th anniversary thoughts.
I was just going to say it's freaking scary to think that the next one's going to be 50 years. Wow.
Listen, Dean, I could take this on a whole nother tangent about my thoughts on turning 40 this year, but I won't. Because I've got some thoughts. But no, I won't. Yeah, we'll leave it there, and we'll move on to our next topic. What are we doing next? Are we doing turtle releases next, or do you guys want to tuck into some spotlights next? What are we thinking?
If Dan's ready,
just before we go, do you want to just throw up the 40th release figures and see what we think?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's a good segue for us to start to go through some of these figures.
Do you have the Techno? Because that's the new 40 release.
No, I've got these figures. I didn't get the Techno up because I wasn't sure it was actually doing anything.
That's all right, mate. That's all right.
There's not many good pictures around about it. So
there's a question there.
Is that working, Scotty?
Yeah, it is. It is. I just want to touch on these comments. Yeah. So Monique, I was definitely a little kid when I loaded up mine as well. So thank you again for that.
How difficult is it to pick a game on those emulators?
Yeah, you go back to the one you used to own as a kid every time.
Yeah, fully. So yeah, that 16-bit music. Yeah, 16 bits where it's at for me for sure.
It is.
And video games. Yep, we're just a little bit of video game talk, and then we'll rein it on back. And original comic, I don't, Sean. I'm not a huge comic guy. Like there's books that I have read. There's comics that I collect that have toy lines that go with them just as like a fun display piece. But I would love to get an original TMNT comic. I wouldn't even care if it's a first print or not, but it would be cool to have book one in a later print, one of the more affordable ones. What do you guys think?
I would love to have an original standalone comic by itself. I have read the first, like, it came in like a trade paperback. I think it was 8 comics or something in that first bundle. So I have read those ones. Imagine owning one of the first release ones. I don't even know what they cost these days.
I kind of just want to get a good one with nice cover art. I don't really care if it's first release, just something cool. Maybe get it graded.
I don't think we said hi. Hello.
Yeah, nice TJC. I wish I had my Sega Master System that I had as a kid and my Super Nintendo. I mean, I got another. I've reacquired them, but I wish I had the childhood ones for sure.
Look, can I show this now, because we're just touching on it? It was something I was going to show as a pickup at the end, and it just fits perfectly with what we're talking about. So,
of course,
I was gifted this. I don't know if anyone can read it, but it's in Japanese.
So can you read that for us, mate?
Yeah.
So it's Pretty sure
turtle.
it's just Teenage Ninja Turtles.
So that's the Nintendo Famicom is what they called it over there. So that you can see, like, that's an SNES cart of theirs. So you can see it's just a little bit diff.
Very cool.
But yeah, I was gifted that. And yeah, I don't actually know what game it is. And
Super Famicom?
I tried to look it up. Yeah, Super Famicom. I tried to look it up, but I couldn't find that exact same cartridge. So many of these cartridges in Japanese with different stickers and a different animation. But I thought since we were talking about the games, I thought I might just chuck that in. That was something I was going to show at the end. So
nice.
Not that I'll ever get to play it.
G'day, Carl. No, no worries at all, mate. A happy birthday to your young fella.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have had a great day.
Happy birthday.
New Turtles is 40th anniversary ones they've released. They did Eastman did do like a sketch turtle, different one, but these are ones Playmates are releasing there.
It does.
Yeah, different.
Sorry. Yeah, it does look more Chinese. So what do we got? These are
So these are the ones Playmates are releasing for the 40th anniversary.
Okay, we've spoke about this, but for the chat, what are your thoughts?
So what are these based on? Because obviously these aren't the first sketch turtles. Are these based on the first comic?
Based on the first sketch he did on the napkin, and then it's kind of done their own. Yeah, they've done their own sort of thing. They've put the tails on them, obviously, because they were on the first sketch. But
and just colored them.
And they just colored them, because obviously it was just a normal red turtle. They did have a different face mask too, which I have got to show afterwards. But definitely different. I don't know if I'd collect them, but if I was going to pick these, I would, because they have got another set that they're releasing, which is these ones.
I mean, go back. Like, can you go back, Dan?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're cool. Like, I don't know. I mean, I kind of struggle. Look, modern releases, for whatever reason, I don't know why. Like, modern releases just don't do it for me. You know, I want to be hunting toy fairs to try to find old stuff that survived. I don't know. It's part of my psychology of collecting, but I do like the fact that this is something new. Like, give me this over like re-releases. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something new. I like the fact that it goes back to the heritage of the Turtles. They look cool, but they're a little bit confused to me because they're based on original, early sketches, but they got the different color bandanas. They got the different color skin tones. Those obviously weren't features that applied to the sketch that it's based on. So it's a little bit of a mishmash, but it's cool for something different for sure.
It's the vintage turtle colors put on the original black and white sketch.
Yeah,
correct. 1988 colors, 1984 sketch. Yeah,
they've also named it the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Well, I think that I don't know. When you look at it, maybe that's what was on the napkin. I can't remember, because if you look at the background, it is actually like a drawn out napkin sort of thing. So
you're right. Yeah.
I don't know if that's how it was written. I didn't do much research on these things at all.
Come on,
but I like them because it is different. I like how they've at least colored the weapons, because I'm a big fan of that. But it's a hard reach. I kind of did like the ones that Eastman had, where they were more the original sketch. It was the red color, and they did have two different variants of that, but I did like the colored one better than
they also made the black and white ones with the longer necks. They had.
Yeah, so they did the original comic sort of turtles with the long necks and that.
Yeah.
I do like how they left the tails on this. At least Playmates left those tails there.
Yeah, true. Cool. Sean, to answer your question, I don't love the feet, but but the feet stay true to the original art that it's based on, so I can't fault that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, any versions of the turtles that have like almost like those bell bottom calf and feet, like I don't know, I don't really like that style. But when it's based on a piece of like original art, then I totally get that you want to stay true to that art. This one's, like I said, just a bit confusing because the sculpt is true to the art, but the colors are obviously 1988 colors, which I don't know, it's cool for something different.
Yeah.
Deano picked up the Donnie 40th anniversary figure. So I'm assuming like that version of Donnie that we can see on the screen there. That's a cool pickup.
Yeah, because they do come separate. You can
Nate's
I
into
don't
them.
think they're selling them as a complete set.
Scree's
Yet.
got
They
them.
might have been
Scree's got them.
So ended up ordering the
Watson.
first one. So did you get them all together, Scree? Does that come as a set? Or do you have to buy each all four of them?
Yeah, let us know, Scree.
He's got a
Yearhub
twin.
prefers the second set.
Too, I think.
So flick to that second set that they announced, Dan.
Okay. These.
What's the skin? What's going on with
man.
skin?
I could show you what's going on with that skin, but it wouldn't be good on YouTube. That's terrible.
Yeah, can you actually zoom in? Can you zoom in on the?
Yeah, I can, man.
On Leo or something, because it looks bumpy. Is it like, I think they've gone with more like a reptilian feel.
They've basically realized they had to do something different.
But like, looking at Raph,
they
Raph
do have articulation, but they've got some good articulation apparently.
Yeah.
So
Raph kind of looks like he's got the skin texture of the second movie, the movie star Robert Turtles. So maybe that's what they're doing. They've taken the vintage and chucked on the new skin tone, like the original photo you showed us, where they took the first Turtles ever and they chucked the vintage skin on. Maybe they're doing this again.
Well, it's quite an easy thing to do.
What scale are these?
I'm not 100% with these ones. Like I said, I didn't do the research on the 40th anniversary.
Got to be the same. Looks the same.
I'd say they'd be similar to the vintage, maybe a little bit taller.
Because
it might be similar to like the new Toxie. Like it's a little bit taller than the old one.
Dermatitis, yeah. G'day, Phil. So we've spoken before about like re-releases and stuff, re-releases and whatnot. And I think I don't know whether it's on a stream or whether it's just us chatting, but I've said before, rather than just do reissues, I think it would be pretty cool if Playmates gave TMNT the TVC treatment in Star Wars, where they go original scale, original characters, but they just update them in terms of articulation, paint apps, and accessories. And to me, this is kind of what we got here. So I like it. I like the fact. I hope they are the same 4-inch scale, because I think that would be cool. But just with the updated articulation, 2-tone or 3-tone weapons, which is cool. Mikey's chucks look like they use, like they actually have sculpted chains, which I like. I mean, it's to me so much better to have actual chains in the chucks. But yeah, the texture is a weird one to me. When I think turtle, and I saw a Pixel Dan review of these, and he sort of made the same comment. When I see turtle, I think like slick, not like goosebumps. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely got some texture.
But I'm not the target customer anyway, because I don't buy modern. So my opinion probably doesn't count for much here. But I think there's a lot right about it, and I wonder if are these sold as a set, and if so, do they come with that little two-tier stand? Because if so, that'd be a nice little pack in as well.
I can't see him selling them as a set unless it's going to be like a exclusive for like a certain store or something. But they haven't got packaging out that I've seen of these yet.
Well, Scree said the last pack came as a pack, but you had to get them separately.
I think they did have a 2-pack that I think Scree said too, that's at like one of the Comic-Cons or something like that. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. I did watch a thing on how they did a lot of this texture in toys the other day with tooling. What they'd do is they'd use the iron cast and they would sandblast it to get that texture in the thing. And then when they molded the toy, you'd get that texture on the toy. That's how they did the matte finish on the 2012 Turtles. They like roughened up the inside and it gave like this different sort of texture. And it's just a cheap way of,
Yeah.
Adam's not into it.
He loves it. I know he's got the set.
I do like the articulation, and I do think it'd be better suited to release the figures in articulation instead of the retro re-releases that they're doing, which are just the same as the vintage, because it opens up, and like TVC, it opens up the door to make characters that were never made.
Yeah, especially for a franchise like TMNT, where then they're ninjutsu, they're martial artists, so you can use that articulation to get some really interesting like dynamic fight poses and stuff. So I like that idea as well. But yeah, just the execution with the skin I don't love. But to Nate's point earlier, they're middle aged now, so you can't expect that they've got flawless skin.
They got wrinkles now.
That was
My Pet Monster. Anyone remember when TMNT was originally called Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles? So that's a great question. So they were released as Hero Turtles in the UK because the UK just thought the idea of ninjas was far too violent. So they were called Hero Turtles. And wherever you saw, the cartoon or the trading card series, they made sure that Mikey never had his chucks because nunchucks were perceived as far more violent than a razor sharp katana, which is an interesting one to me. So yeah, Hero Turtles was a UK thing, but it's always cool when you see items that have that Hero Turtle packaging.
I love chasing Hero Turtle stuff.
Yeah.
Classic weapons again. Yeah, blue on the sword falls off. Okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Exclusive looks cool.
Would I buy them?
Oh yeah, that's a good point there from Adam. Leo and Donnie have swapped heads.
Yeah,
they do indeed.
Yeah.
That's a good pickup.
Just a slight little change.
Yeah.
For what reason would that be? It's a bizarre one.
They probably just messed them around in the drawer.
Yeah, pure accident.
You're right.
That won't know.
Yeah.
Already done. Yeah. That's all I've got for the 40th anniversary. I didn't get the Technodrome just because the photos aren't the greatest yet of that. Obviously, that photo's not great.
I think everyone's in agreement that the weapons painted is just sick. Like
I like the weapons painted for sure.
And the chains on Mikey are pretty cool.
Yeah, I got a little figure there where it's got painted weapons. It looks so much better.
Look, it's a neat set. It is a neat set. It'll display nicely like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And an interesting point from Carl here, and kind of goes back to what we were talking about before with the 40th anniversary, where, the Turtles have come to mean something so different than they did just from the original comics with the cartoons and the toys and the movies and so on. Carl's saying like he prefers the ones that look like what he had as a kid more so than the ones that are true to the comics, which is sort of similar to me, I suppose. It's cool to see versions that are based on the comics, but what we had is the Playmates toys are far more nostalgic to me than the comics are, just because of what I was exposed to as a kid. So totally get that.
So they're released because of the 40th anniversary. Is that right?
Apparently. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think they've done a couple of comics too for the 40th anniversary, but I wasn't digging into that.
I'm leaning more towards liking them now that we've really sort of talked about them.
I think the articulation would be a good key if they smooth up the skin texture and do 2 different releases. I would probably get one to see what the articulation's like, but now looking at it and looking at something else I've got it's kind of like just a new Mutant Mayhem articulation, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I'm trying to see that the knees and ankles have articulation.
The ankles do look like it. You can see it on Raph. But I don't know.
Before we move on to the next one, there's some really good points in the chat here. Like Yeehaw saying the skin texture would probably be better suited to a re-release of the Mutant Frogs, which is a great point because I think that skin it seems more like frog skin for sure. But I mean, that's just from what I can see. Seeing him in person, it might be different. But I definitely agree. And likewise, Adam made a really good point here that like compared to other toy lines like G.I. Joe, the TMNT original figures, like they were sculpted in a dynamic pose. Like think Shredder, like the way the Turtles, some of them were on tiptoes, some of them had like a bladed stance in the way that they came, right out of the packet. It makes, they don't necessarily need that articulation to the extent that like G.I. Joe would.
Make standing up Donnie easier.
Definitely. TJC, the reason for the nunchuck issue because kids were making their own nunchucks. Okay.
It's all Bruce Lee's fault. But still, we got two different.
Bruce Lee started it.
We got two different toy lines from the one toy line. We can collect both, so it kind of makes it amazing for us.
Yeah.
Why have you got two? Because one's this one's. Yeah. All right. So I'll throw that one down. Just turn that off, Scotty. Yeah.
Are we going through the rest of the new releases, or
what do you want to do? You want to go on to that now? Then we're going. Yeah.
Yeah, chuck them up.
Why not? If you're ready to go, Dan, why not?
I'm excited to see what's new. I know you haven't shared.
All right. So, yeah. So first thing is from NECA, which is the Last Ronin Casey Jones. So obviously this is the box art. I do like how they do these Last Ronin box arts. They pretty much like I don't know if it is ripped from the comic. It probably is, but yeah.
Is that like an open, like a flap lid, so you can actually see the figure, or you can't see the figure?
Yeah, I'd say so, mate. Most of the NECA ones do that, and it does kind of looks like it in the picture. So yeah, this is him.
Oh, he looks cool.
He does look. This is probably one of my favorite. This is a pretty good Casey, and yeah, it's just the detail on some of these toons, sort of like this kind of resembles the toon one, but it's a bit more human-like. But just the detail they're doing on is unbelievable.
Man, if you were gonna make like a Turtles like big universe, he like that can get an origin movie standalone.
Oh, I don't know why there's never been something like that. You know, it would be cool. But yeah, I don't know about the face on him.
Yeah, I was gonna say put it back on.
He's a bit different. He looks like I swear it's been ripped off something else. You can probably find
it's reused face.
Yeah,
I was expecting Thingo from the original movie for some reason, but
the coolest part about this figure is he comes with a cricket bat. Yeah, so cool. Gotta love the cricket bat.
Yeah, the cricket bat.
NECA does an awesome job. Like they do some pretty cool paints on their figures, but joints definitely aren't as good as what they say they are. I don't know about these ones, but the big fellas, they barely move. But to try getting some of their stances and that's a bit of a pain, but definitely a cool figure.
He's cool.
I'd go out and buy just because once you go down the loophole of buying these NECA ones, you need a big bit of space and a big chunk of coin. Because it like that. I love the NECA toon line that they've done, and it's just it's stupidly big.
But just look at that detail. Where can they possibly go?
Like, look at that.
Like
definitely
in 10 years, like how could you get better detail? These things are insane now.
Yeah. You know, the one thing that I find a little bit jarring about that figure is
his shoes.
Is Casey Jones with short hair?
Yeah. I'd say I think in the comic he does.
I would imagine so. I'm sure it's very true to the comic, but just me personally, from I love the cartoon, the toy, and the movie, I always think of Casey with long hair.
Yeah, he's definitely badass, Phil. Definitely badass. And the cricket bat.
His vintage figure is kind of short hair, if you think about it.
Oh, it's longer than that though. Like it's it's
in the cartoon. Didn't he have short hair? I think he always wore the mask, so it was hard to tell.
You're right, Dean. It is short hair in the toy, but it's like quite long and spiky. Like that's like a 9 to 5 cut that Casey's got. You know what I'm saying? Like short back and sides.
It's not his head. It's obviously someone else's.
I don't collect the NECA. I've got some of the larger ones there. That's it. But that is something that's just like very unique. That'll look really cool.
If I seen that for a good price at a con, I'd probably pick it up. I don't know why. It's just a cool look having the collection.
What was that?
Oh, I'm just laughing. Nate saying without the mask he looks like a warehouse manager. Carl saying he looks like Johnny Drama.
I think he's got too much lip for chin ratio. Just some big.
He's like fighting.
All right, better get on to the next one.
So for Sean, what NECAs do you guys have when it comes to Turtles? I mean, I know you guys have the large scale movie ones, but aside from those,
that's it, mate. That is it.
I've just got the movies, and we got Alf the other day. We got an Alf. He's pretty cool.
Yeah,
nice. But you don't collect the smaller scale NECA Turtles figures.
I'd collect every one of those Toon ones if I could buy them for a good price and I didn't have to pay a fortune. They're hard to get everything. So
the only
least in certain places, and yeah, it's a pain.
The only NECA I want, it's not Turtles, it's Dutch from Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he's so expensive.
A good looking figure. That is a good looking figure. Huh?
So expensive.
Yeah, so this next one is basically the only screenshot they've got of this, and this is a RAF from the
Turtles of
Motu
Grayskull
crossover line. Yeah, so
I'm liking it.
I think it might be Fisto. I'm not a big Motu.
Yeah, where's
Fisto sort of crossover?
Where's Phil?
Matt.
Phil. Everyone that's here for Turtles.
Well, to be honest, probably my favorite pick out of this Motu line that's came out so far. The Casey's pretty cool too, but yeah, I'm just
putting it out there. We could do a sick live stream with the MUTAGENTS and the Mo Tuesday guys talking about these things.
Yeah, Shane.
Yeah, that'd be actually a cool idea.
We could just
this one. I don't know. What do you boys think?
I kind of like what I'm looking at. Not actually knowing who I'm looking at, but I know it's Raphael, but he looks all right.
Well, when it comes to the Turtles of Grayskull, they're not playing necessarily specific characters. Like, obviously, in the Turtles of Grayskull line, Donnie's got, like, the Man-at-Arms style armor, but it's not – but, like and again, like, with that right hand, this Raphael figure does feel like there's a lot of Fisto influence there, but I don't think it's, like, necessarily needs to be a specific character. But I think it looks cool. I mean, when it comes to, like, my feelings on Turtles of Grayskull, like, I really like the mutated He-Man, the mutated Ram-Man, like the more mutant translucent looking figures.
Yeah, he is Ram-Man. I think Adam chucked it up. Yeah, he is Ram-Man.
So Ram-Man, okay.
Ram-Man and Raph merged together.
Yeah, but there is a Ram-Man in that line.
That's what he's
Well, no. There is an actual Ram-Man is in the Turtles of Grayskull line.
Okay.
Mutated Ram-Man. He's like translucent and he's like mutating into a ram. He looks wicked.
Okay. Then we need to have this live stream then and learn about these guys.
Yeah, no, they're different. Definitely different, but
I don't see them. Have you guys seen them? I haven't seen them in person, not at the shops.
No, the only one I know, I think Matt's got one of them. He's got the Krang or something, doesn't he?
Yeah. You did a review on that.
It's my favorite out of them so far. Like, I'm a big Mikey fan, but that wig that they gave him just looks terrible.
Let's do it, Phil.
Yeah, the Mikey's wig's a weird one for sure.
Man. Yeah, so we'll move on to the next one because that's just a small one. I haven't got any photos of it. So yeah, this next one's another one from NECA, and I love this. This is part of that Toon line that I'd love to own every one of these, but
yeah,
you'd be spending a fair few $1,000s, you know. So, but yeah, this is a cool looking figure.
True.
So this is Hisagi Jimbo, and he's got his little pet dinosaur.
I use the word cute. He kind of is.
He is cute. You know,
talking about the Toon line in NECA, there's one there that I always thought would be fantastic, and it's that police cop, the robot police.
There's one done of him.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Inspector Rex or something like that. But yeah, I can't remember. I think that might be his name. But yeah, definitely cool. I love the way they paint them. It kind of gives that old Playmates sort of feel, like the bright colors and. Yeah. We'll move to the next shot of him. So obviously that's him with his headgear off. His ears do come off. So I think you do have another feature where it flaps down at the back. But yeah, definitely out there. Everyone's talking about Blonde Mikey.
Yeah, I know.
It's got both. Nice.
Oh yeah. So okay. Yeah. So I only had 2 shots of him. But yeah, definitely a cool figure. I've always liked this Savage Jimbo.
So, and is he from NECA's animated line, or is this?
I'd say it's part of the animated line.
Okay,
because it's the only one it really goes with. yeah, so
we don't really collect NECA as a group, us three. But how often are they bringing these things out? Are these like every 2 months you get new NECA, or because you're showing a lot of NECA? I think there's more coming up.
I think it's slowed down a bit, but they were pumping them out at one stage there. But yeah, they do become hard to get because a lot of them too you got to get from certain Comic Cons and
yeah,
I've seen them on eBay for like stupid amounts.
What a pain in the ass that is.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, so we'll move on to the next one. But this one's actually a pretty cool one from the cartoon. And it's Super Bebop and Mighty Rocksteady. And yeah, so that's obviously just showing you the box art, how they're displayed in the box. And they come as a 2-pack. So yeah, these
are these like modern versions of like robotic Rocksteady and robotic Bebop? Playmates.
So these are kind of pitched like the robotic, and that was kind of like that, but this one's actually pitched straight from the cartoon. So I don't know if you remember that episode where Shredder made the 2 robots, and yeah, they did everything better than Bebop and Rocksteady could, you know.
So, okay.
Yeah, so pretty much the exact same. As you can see, you got Rocksteady too. But yeah, in the next picture, there's actually a scene in the cartoon where you see them spinning the other 2
cool.
over their heads. Like that's actually from like you can even see they've kind of even worked a bit of a display in the back to look like it's inside the Technodrome. But,
no worries at all, Jeff. That's fine, mate.
So they're selling.
Appreciate you dropping in.
They're selling NECA on AliExpress.
Yeah,
that's what Johnny's saying. Yeah,
you can buy NECA on there.
Interesting.
I guess it's a little bit of a risk, but yeah. So yeah, they definitely got pretty cool detail. The way they do the shadowing line on them and stuff like that.
No, you're 100% right. I do like that kind of like cell shading style line work on all the animated series figures. But yeah, it's interesting what you were saying. Like I look at those figures and I think robotic Rocksteady and robotic Bebop. But those figures, because Playmates often didn't marry the cartoon exactly, they did their own thing a little bit. Those vintage figures were probably inspired by that episode. Whereas this is staying true to the episode.
Yeah, so like I was watching a thing the other day with Varna Studios, and basically after the first 2 years, they pretty much got just what he's going to give us. Give us a sketch, and we'll let you know if we want you to sculpt it. So a lot of the time, like the soccer RAF and all that sort of stuff, that was all just out of Varna. That had nothing to do with Playmates. They were just going, yeah, all right, that'll sell. And everything was selling so well. So I don't know if that's how those robotic ones were done, or they were just pitched that was in the cartoon. But these ones are pretty much, cartoon accurate.
Yeah.
So is there anyone in the chat that does collect the vintage and the modern turtles? They just try to get them all? That'd be really cool to know. That'd be tough. Like, be tough to pick it up.
Tough feat, mate.
If people like this sort of news that we're doing, that Dan's they're doing right now, like maybe we could chuck it in every couple of episodes, catch people up.
There's a lot coming out.
That's the plan. I think you were saying, Dan, is every 2 to 3 episodes just do kind of a roundup of all the latest stuff.
If I get enough stuff coming out, I suppose we can look into it, you know. But it's always good to see new things too, because it does blow your mind what you do miss out on. Like a lot of the time, you don't even know what's coming out if you're not looking. I guess. And we don't get everything over here as easy. So
for sure.
All right, we'll move on to. We've got another shot there with them with the NECA Krang too in the background, but
yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll move on to the next one. So these ones here are out of a company called Mondo.
Yeah,
and these are I think they're an 8-inch figure with articulation, and they're doing the 4 brothers. These were the first 2 to be released. So you had Donnie, and then you had obviously Leo. They're
I love them.
How big are these?
So they're 8-inch. I'm pretty sure.
Oh wow! Okay.
Down. Yeah, 8-inch with 7.2 articulation. Pardon?
They look very compact.
Yeah, they're chunky boys. They're real chunky boys. So yeah, I've seen a person actually holding it on their hand, and they sit about that tall. Yeah.
Wow!
But they're definitely chunky, and I'm surprised with the articulation. I don't know if it's going to be too good. Like 7 points isn't a lot, I suppose, these days. It's pretty much like the vintage ones.
It's not a lot at all, mate. It's basically so it's basically got 1 point at each of the legs.
Yeah,
it's got shoulders and maybe wrists or shoulders. I can't see elbows, so it's probably just shoulders, wrists, head, and 1 each of the legs. So you're not doing any you're not really doing any poses with it apart from maybe raising the arms and it's
but
interesting.
apparently too, there's actually it's a soft vinyl, so it might be very similar to those. You probably can say the word better than I can, Scott. Those Japanese Sofubis.
Yeah,
or...
to me, it's got a Sofubi look about it, but Sofubi aren't necessarily always articulated. But some Sofubi just have just a small number of points of articulation. They do have that kind of look to me, like.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just like the compact squat pose and everything like that, and how chunky it is in that larger scale.
Yeah,
definitely. Not doing it for me either.
Nah,
no,
Mikey. I like Mikey.
I like the expression. I think the expression is there, but
the problem is I think you'd have to get a lot, and they're $90 USD each. So
wow,
yeah,
definitely not a cheap item.
A lot of people in the chat.
Back. There you go, Sufubish.
A lot of people in the chat vintage only, but Adam was saying he collects some of the Super 7s, but I mean it's so hard to collect it all.
Yeah, 100%. But then basically they haven't done RAF yet, which is really weird, and they jumped straight to Mondo Gecko.
Oh wow!
So yeah, he's pretty dope.
he's awesome.
Not bad, man.
The expressions and that. He looks cool. I like him.
Yeah. Now this one sold it for me. After I seen this, I was like, "Do I get him and Mikey?" If it came, and then I seen the price, and I went, "Maybe not."
I mean, like these do it for me a lot more than like NECAs do. You know what I mean? Personally, but I'm not buying them either. But just because of the outlay and the space, but like Mondo, from what I understand about Mondo, it's like lower volume, higher value, higher details. Yeah. But
there's no packaging yet, so I don't know how you get them. You might get them in a baggie, little packet on top. But I don't know. It's definitely a cool sculpt, and I do like how they use the red knee variant. It's a better one.
Yeah.
They're
so expressive.
He needs a spotlight because look at how much detail and cool things are going on. Just like it's a complete representation of the vintage figure. So someone needs to spotlight him. Maybe next.
The vintage didn't have his foot hanging out, so that's a new feature.
Okay.
He had his toes hanging out, but yeah, that's actually new. I didn't know they did that. But yeah, definitely.
Mondo Gecko is awesome.
Definitely. The back of him. All right, on to the next one. Now, these ones here, this kind of pissed me off when I say this. It's a cool thing to do, but they're releasing a double pack of the Universal Monsters, a Hunchback and Wolfman in black and white. So these are going to be black and white figures. Would look cool if you had the set, but if you'd already bought into the NECAs, I suppose it's kind of. If you like these ones better, I guess you're selling your old ones. But yeah,
what's pissing you off about them, Bob?
It's what if they're going to release this sort of stuff? Do it at the same time you release the coloured ones.
They're never going to do that.
A year later, you bastards. So.
They want you to buy them, then buy these. These look great photography.
But why do they piss you off? Because they're black and white.
No, I like that they're black and white, but it's like give people the option of having a color one and a black and white one to pick first. Like, don't release.
Oh, are they the same figure, just repainted?
Yeah, man. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a negative, to be honest. And I haven't even got them done yet. But it's. I do like what they've done here because obviously black and white movies back in the day. But I just kind of think if they're going to release something like this, do it at the same time. Like release the color and the black and white one at once.
Yeah, no. I sorry, mate. I get you 100% now. It reminds me it reminds me. Super 7 released Silverhawks non-vac metal and said, "Oh, we couldn't do vac metal because we couldn't chrome it and still have the articulation." And then later on, they did the same figures in vac metal, and it's like, well, you just got me over the barrel for two purchases now. You know what I mean? So yeah, I take it from
because it sounds like they didn't try hard enough to do it the first time.
Well, I mean, technology progresses and stuff, but yeah, this if you're cynical, you'd be like, come on, like really, like. But no, I take your point. I mean, I like the black and grey, you know, because they're based on those original black and white monster movies.
It's a cool
and
aspect.
for that reason, they're really cool. But just as like a pure display piece, if you displayed that along with a heck of a lot of brightly coloured NECA and Super 7 stuff, just on display, they might get lost a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It'd be really cool for a scene, like having a black and white scene sort of stuff. But yeah, it's just, I guess it's a money grab for him at the end of the day, and it's a lot cheaper for him too. They probably charge the same amount. There's no painting involved.
Paint variant,
you know, but
they still look awesome.
They do look awesome.
They do look wicked, for sure.
And I don't know if any of you know, like Leo, actually, his shell opens up. And it's like a storage shell, so he's got all these little bits you can put inside him and stuff. But yeah, they're definitely they're cool. It's just the way they did it. I was a bit dirty on them.
Yeah, so my pet monster, like I love my display cases color popping. Yeah, I mean, like I do too, and like the stuff that we collect is so colorful. You know, like I feel like there's very few toy lines quite as colorful as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, you know, you add some black and gray figures into the mix, as cool as they are, they might just kind of you might lose them a little bit on the shelf, but still very, very cool.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So, yeah, better get on with it. But, yeah, these are obviously the new 2003 ones that are getting released by, I think Playmates are doing it, Viacom's doing it. One or two, yeah. So,
no.
Yes.
No.
No?
Sorry,
Scott.
Sorry. I apologize. Sorry.
That's just probably the missus or something.
No, my dog's chewing on something that she shouldn't be chewing. I'm sorry.
So
this is 2003. Why are they doing these? Is there a
because we talked about them last episode? I think they thought, shit, what are we going to do here? But yeah, I don't know. I didn't really want to show these ones, but they're different. Definitely different. There's 2003 fans out there who probably love them. I do like the 2003 ones better than these, but I guess articulation. And the only other thing, this is if you look at it, it is kind of, it's not the figures. It's actually like a painted image. When you look into it, kind of looks like AI hands sort of thing. But that's definitely not a figure. But
well, it looks it looks to have more articulation in the knees, like Leo's bending, Mikey's bending. I need to watch this TV show. Everyone says how good it is, and I just haven't sat down and committed to it yet.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. They look good. I like the 03 turtles in this line. I'd love to do some spotlights on them.
Did the 03s have different bandanas, like different head things? I was noticing, like with Raph here, how he's got it's a little bit more sharper. Could be the facial inspiration.
I'll bring your mate over. So, yeah. You still got that's practically, the same sort of bandana style with that really big, long, waving bandana.
Definitely different.
I like them, because they're also soft in the guts. Like it's got a tiny bit of like, sort of push in there.
Yeah.
To your point, Dan, the shell color is a bit weird, eh?
Shell color is terrible. I'm sorry. I fucking hate it. It's just it's like a darker green or the brown, obviously, but
they're pretty much the same color as their skin.
I really think this thing hasn't been marketed right. These photos are pretty terrible for something.
Yeah.
Is there any other photos of these guys out yet?
I haven't found any. And then obviously
I saw some photos doing the round that showed each figure front and back, and the shells are all that weird bright green color.
All right, so these are the last ones we'll get onto. Obviously, this is more the original sketch sort of turtle. You've got the 2 different types. That's obviously the box art. You got some Eastman sort of design here. I like these better. They're definitely cool. But, I do like the shadow lining effect that they do on some of these NECA figures that they're releasing. Well, I think, yeah. But
I don't know.
Nah, not for you.
It's the mask. I don't like the mask.
That's why you get the goofy looking mask too, with the goofy heads.
There was something that really put me off, like as I grew up, when they started changing their bandanas to full head bandanas and that. I just couldn't accept it. It was the normal cartoon movie bandanas. That was it. Don't fuck with all the bandanas.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. I do like it. It's evil looking. You know, something different. But yeah. So
G'day, Ollie.
That's all I've got for you with the news. But yeah, definitely there's some cool grabs there. But
yeah, I just want to Scotty Z70 made a comment before that I just want to go back to. Sorry, guys, I've not been able to get to all the comments. Yeah, where was it? Sorry, I've lost it.
Hello, Scotty Z70. I don't think we said hi.
There it is. Hey, Scotty. Appreciate you tuning in, mate. But yeah, hang on. No, that's not the comment either. God, I'm hopeless.
That's all right. Keep going, Dan.
That's it.
That's it.
No, that's not the comment either.
Back to the start, guys.
What's this segment called?
I was going to call it sewer news. Might go with that. Sounds
news from the sewers.
Yeah, news from the sewers.
Yeah, because we're live from the sewers, aren't we?
Live from the sewers. There you go.
So it's news from the sewers.
Yeah, but definitely.
So yeah, Scotty, we're obviously talking about the Universal Monsters figures being black and white, and you made a comment about like the original sketch figures should be black and white, and we looked at the Playmates 40th anniversary figures that are based on the early concept sketches, and they're true to the concept sketches, but they have the colors of the 1988 Turtles with the colored bandanas and the different colored skin tones. And I agree with you. It'd be cool to see them in black and white, just like the original comic was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they did with those later model ones. They did do like a black and white exclusive, and it was pretty cool looking.
I think that'll be a really cool segment, Dan.
Like, you just got to find more stuff, I suppose.
You do it every like through every quarter or something. I think that'd be awesome.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. And look, this is another fantastic point from Scotty, and it kind of makes me question the whole Ninja Turtles in the first place. It's like, why are they even wearing masks? Like,
that's ninja.
Like, yeah, but they're not humans. They're turtles. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
they're caught in ninja. That's why they wear ninja.
But if you wear a mask, it's like to disguise you from all the other turtles walking around on hind legs. You know what I mean?
That's why they're pads and that. That's all for like falling and that. That's why they got them. Well, that's what I believe anyway, and that's just canon now.
Yeah, no, so true.
Because I said so.
Alrighty, well, guys, we've only got 20 minutes to go. So, do we do spotlights or
do spotlights? People like spotlights.
Okay, I'll skip my spotlight. I'll let you guys go.
All right.
You do whatever you're going to do, Dan, because I don't know what you're going to do.
All right. So my spotlight's actually not going to be a spotlight. It's going to be an opening because I haven't even opened it yet.
Oh, we can't open
it.
We can't open online.
So collectors, it's a Mutant Mayhem figure. I only bought this because I wanted to customize it. Like, I wanted to do some shadow lines and stuff like that on it eventually when I get the chance. But yeah, one big thing I like about it, I do like, God, this is hard to put up to a screen.
Just open it.
But, the card art it's pretty cool. Different cut that they've got and different card art. I was telling the boys that they don't have enough of a bio on the back. It's pretty shit house. It's only a couple of lines and then it's in different languages. So but let's crack her open and have a look.
Our first live, our first.
Oh yeah,
unboxed.
this is the first TMT I've unboxed in 35 years. So,
And it's live.
And live.
Live and exclusive.
Oh yeah, look at that. When they pack it, it's already breaking off the tabs, the weapons. So it's obviously not packed the greatest, but sorry about this, guys.
Fast forward. So tell us a little bit about him.
That's Michelangelo. He's a Ninja Turtle.
You're freaking out, Scree.
He's a teenager. I don't even know how to get these out, Scree. I should have got a lesson off you first.
2023.
Yeah, so I'm gonna break this. I can see it's happening here.
You just got a little plastic tab.
Okay. And we have a figure. It's actually a lot smaller than I thought it was.
Does it smell like your childhood?
No, it smells like cheap plastic. Definitely different. Definitely different. Yeah, it hasn't got the vintage feel. And when did Turtles lose their karate belt and start getting like belt buckle and stuff like that? When did that happen?
Yeah, we got to remember these are early teenagers. Like these are really early.
They haven't got their black belt yet.
Yeah, you could say that.
But it should be a martial arts belt, not like a leather belt.
Yeah, it's like seriously, they've just taken the belt that they wear to weddings and slapped it on. You know, they're definitely different. Yeah. I don't know. Like, what do you think of these, Dean? Like the chest, it's a bit weird how the chest piece isn't part of the figure. Like it's, I don't know if you can see the gap there.
Yeah. So I don't mind these. A lot of articulation on these. The shell is actually a good
you can
color.
Sit down.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely different.
They're not bad. They're not cheaply made like a lot of tools are these days.
And for the price, like I paid $10 for this.
Yeah, yeah, they're cheap as. Still, one we can't find is April on card loose like by itself. But I do have a problem with these because I gave them to my son and I found the one thing that keeps happening is the actual feet pop off quite easily.
Well, I just found that with my hands half hanging on.
Yeah,
look at the gap in that hand there.
That's where you get that little bit of a cheaper quality of plastic.
This is the one thing I wanted to see. I wanted to see these handcuffs. Because these things, yeah, they're not flimsy. They're just hard plastic. Different. I like that they painted. That's kind of cool.
A little bit different than the standard just circle hoop. Like,
do they fit in hands, Dean? Here we go. Oh yeah, there you go. It fits all right.
Yeah, I think they're cool figures for today's age at the price that you're paying for them. I think they're solid figures that kids can play with and that us giant kids can play with.
They're definitely are heftier than the reissues too. They've got more weight.
Well, they really should be because they should be able to stand up to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just displaying.
And they marketed the crap out of this movie, and fantastically too. They took the nostalgia of all the parents that are 30, 35 years old with kids, chucked a shitload of merchandise at us, and we all went nuts. Well, some of us went nuts. I did, but there's so much of it, and now it's a bit frustrating. They're a little bit slow at bringing more out.
Yeah, so you get a weapons rack, and by looks like this is different. You get some ninja stars, a broken ooze canister, I'd say that one would be a pizza.
Ooh.
Microphone nunchucks.
Yeah, so like the rap and mic accessory.
Yeah, and then you get this evil son of look at this man. It's like a nunchuck. Looks like kind of the hot dog end that they had on the vintage one, but then you got the blade that comes off up.
That's his current weapon from I think from 2012 onwards.
Yeah.
So he uses that. So he has in that series he's kind of put away his nunchucks and he goes with that sort of grapple sort of.
They definitely threw whatever they could at it. Do they have weapon similarities like between the turtles, Dean? Like you know how like in the vintage ones they had the little blade. Every turtle had one of them.
Yeah.
So they do have like an ooze.
They all get the ooze canister. I think they all get a slice of pizza as well, and the Ninja Stars, the oversized, gigantic.
Okay.
Ninja
Only
Stars.
like the microphone nunchucks, and this would change on this weapon rack sort of thing.
Sean's asked a question there, guys. Have you both got Leatherhead?
No, this is the only one I own.
Oh, yes. I thought you bought them all.
No.
Okay.
I do.
Was he a trickier one to find?
Buys a lot of stuff, so maybe.
Yeah, he was difficult at the first 6 months, 8 months. He was hard to find.
Okay.
And then he's quite easy now. I still see him at Kmart and things like that. But he was the hard one to get in that first in that first wave.
So it's not just you, Sean. Certainly a little bit tricky to.
Superfly and Leatherhead, they were the two difficult ones.
Yeah, definitely cool. That's all I've really got for Figure Spotlight, but I like it, mate. That's $10. You know, you can't complain. $10 for a figure is pretty amazing, and Turtles are still going and living for another 10 or 20 years or whatever. So
yeah,
exciting times.
What sort of slices? What sort of slices would you give that guy?
Man, I'd give him about a 4.5. You know, there's playability there. There's also like you can take photos and all that for the people who do this.
So he gets a pass mark.
He gets a pass mark. You know, like he's Mikey, so he's always going to get a pass. I actually really like the card art. I like the way they really like Turtles have always had that one thing where they've been able to market a toy by making the whole shelf look the same. And if you looked at anything Mutant Mayhem, it had that purple effect on it, and it was it just pops.
Yeah,
a pretty cool bubble. But yeah,
Sean,
it's enough about me.
You're 100% right. I couldn't care less. I mean, but I'm always open to talking about different stuff, and if there's people in the chat that love it and you guys love it, then I'm always happy to listen to you share your love for it. But me personally,
we didn't want to just focus completely on the vintage Turtles. We want to give Turtles love in all aspects and generations.
100%.
I don't collect this. I bought it to paint, but I thought, why not do a Figure Spotlight? I'm going to open it up anyway, and I can.
Especially in an episode where we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Turtles, we've got to also address what makes them still as relevant now as they have been. You know, so 100%. But I'm with you, Sean. Vintage all the way, my friend.
Same. Except for this one.
Alrighty, Dino, you going to do yours?
Yeah, I'm just where is it? Sorry.
No good.
I'm just
in your own time.
I'm playing with my figurine.
Sorry. I'm just going to share a picture at the end, Scotty. I'm just going to get him ready.
No worries, man. I'll keep an eye for it to pop up, and I'll pop it on the screen.
Is it on there?
Nah, not yet.
Oh, puta. Come on.
What are you doing, Dino?
Killing the stream.
We're still live, mate.
I know. That's all right.
Hey, chat.
Anticipation is
I'm just catching up. I'm just catching up on the comments. Guys, appreciate everybody for being so active in the chat. You've made my life actually a little bit challenging tonight in getting to everybody and addressing all the comments. I really appreciate you guys.
All right, so keep that one there, Scotty.
There we go.
Well, not yet.
Oh, sorry.
So anyway, make me big, and I'll do mine. So we'll step into the realm of a figure line that we haven't talked about at all, really, and that's the 2012 TMNT. And I chose this guy. So this guy's name is Dog Pound. He's a hefty beast. So I have to read a little bit here because there's a bit of a backstory on it. So in the TV series, he was a human called Chris Bradford, and he was mutated into this guy, which is Dog Pound. All right, so it's one of Shredder's sort of sidekicks in it. So he was trained by Shredder in the arts of ninjutsu. So this guy takes a pretty big wallop when he does it. He's a pretty cool figure when you look at him. but it is the 2012 line. He's got big open feet. Not much going on there. But he's a nice figure. But what happens is he gets mutated again into, and now you can share that photo, Scotty.
Yeah.
Into the 2012 TV series version of Raza. So that's what Raja looks like. Which in the TMNT 2 movie, you've got Raja.
Can we zoom in on that peek a touch?
Yeah. Mm. Where's the
down on the bottom? Down the bottom, you know. Yeah.
He looks cool.
Did they make a figure of that?
They did make a figure. One I haven't got. Would have been great to have him to show as the transformation as he continues. But I just wanted to show something, and because it was the 40th anniversary, I just wanted to show something that was from one of the TV shows that I had finished, and I finished it all last year. So we can stop sharing that.
Yeah.
Now we'll pop back. So yeah, Pound Dog wasn't an overall massive character. I think that's why they did the transformation into Raza, because he became much more powerful, fast in the TV show. So yeah, that's my guy. What do you guys think of this guy?
I actually like
cool.
it.
Did you say Dog Pound or Pound Dog?
Dog Pound.
Nice.
Dog Pound.
So Dog Pound. Yeah. So he's pretty beefy. I haven't got around to displaying these yet, but I will.
He's short compared to the Turtles, but of the 2012 line.
Yeah.
No, of the 2012 line.
Oh, the 2012.
Like the Turtles of 2012.
Yeah.
He's small,
yeah. Well, this guy's supposed to be big. That's why
Yeah.
one of his arms, that's the pounding arm. Like, he's just got one massive arm and then one, like, sort of normal arm, I guess.
It's a crazy looking sculpt. The way they've just, like, basically put a face on a chest.
You can see the Raza, like, he's got parts that are kind of like Raja now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thought I'd pick something different.
Accessories, Deano?
No, that's it. That's him.
He didn't come with any weapons?
No, not that I found or saw, but
there you go.
So yeah,
no accessories.
He uses his fist. That is the accessory.
Can't lose any
parts. Chip, isn't it?
Probably, but I guess it's
kind of baggy.
I'd probably give him a 4. I actually quite like that figure.
I do like it. Kind of got like a Street Shark sort of vibe about it.
He definitely has, and size. I don't know if there are any comments there that I missed. Sorry.
Oh, there's plenty. Second form is like a zombie with skin/bones. Both versions, cool figures.
Yeah.
There you go. Interesting.
I think it's good to touch on all the different figure lines that have come and gone. And
absolutely,
like I said, 2012. I watched all that series. It's a great storyline. Like, it really is. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. My next will be the 2003, and then I can start sharing some of those figures. I just don't know them yet. That's a big line.
I do want to give it a go. I was going to start with 2003, but just finding the time.
Yeah, plenty of seasons on there, mate.
Projects.
So, did you want to share one, Scotty, or
we've been going for an hour 25, so, and we've still got one topic still to cover. So, no, definitely. So let's try to keep it to say 15 minutes or so, because, and I only say that, like, I'll sit here all night and chat, but I'm just mindful of people's time. Appreciate everyone that comes and hangs out with us, and don't want to overstay our welcome, so to speak. So let's go. Let's go this PlayLab concept that you tossed around, because I'm looking forward to having a bit of a chat about that.
All right, so I'm a Star Wars collector with the vintage collection figures that they bring out now. So Hasbro, who make the Star Wars figures, they have what they call HasLab. So what they do is they take what the fans want, or they come up with like a vehicle or a play set that fits in that world. and they make it and they show us all and they ask us to back it as fans before they actually create it for us. So they might say, the current one now is the Star Wars Cantina, which they need, I think it's 1,000 people to back it, or that number might be wrong, but you have to have that many people already back it before they even make it. That's a topic on itself, and I know, Scotty, you got some ideas, but it just popped into my head, and I thought, what about a PlayLab, so Playmates? What could they offer us, and us as fans go, what would we back? So a few concept ideas, and I know a lot of different lines from NECA and all that have made different sewer play sets, but I was picturing something with a sewer play set. Above it, you had like the subway, you moved into the street level, then you could go into sort of like a skyscraper level with like April's apartment, and then onto the actual roof of that skyscraper where you would have all the flying vehicles and that, but all this to scale of the vintage collection. So I just wanted to put it out to you guys, put it out to the chat, and say, is it something that you would back if we came up with something really cool? And I do stress that it has to stay to scale. So if it's the Technodrome, that thing's going to be like, what, the size of your coffee table? It's going to be huge. But yeah, what do you guys think? What would you back?
BTR, Dave. Sorry, Matt. Just want to say g'day to Dave quickly while he's with us.
That's all right. No worries. So yeah, what would you guys back? What are some play sets or some like vehicles that they could create now that you would say, okay, I'm gonna put money on this, and this is gonna be super cool for my collection?
For me, it'd probably be like a different mutant module, like that one that was like replica of the cartoon show.
Yeah.
Or a neutrino, the neutrino car. Like, I know a lot of customs are out there, but it'd definitely be cool. Something around, like something to do with Dimension X, maybe the big portal room in the Technodrome.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. The sewer one that you were suggesting, that's a great idea. It's a mass, but to do it at that sort of scale,
yeah,
you probably have to break it down. NECA has done a similar thing with modules, but in my eyes, like a HasLab, if you're going to back a toy, like back something with a fair bit of money, you got a lot of Kickstarter going on, I want it to be quality. I can't see Playmates doing the quality that, say, certain that I would want from that sort of backing.
Yeah.
That being said, it might not. I some of the HasLab stuff does look amazing.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a good concept, but I think with a scene like you're saying, they'd have to maybe break it into maybe have the sewer, complete sewer layer, then a complete street, a subway, complete street level, and then do a building too, and have it in stages maybe. But it'd have to have really good quality and detail, in my eyes, for me to want to back something like that, because it's a long-term thing too with some of these.
They are, and they're huge play sets. So one that I was thinking from the original movie would be like Shredder's hideout, with all the boxes and the VHS tape boxes and the old CRT TV, where all the foot are collecting all that, and you could have those different levels where you could have all your foot soldiers and have Shredder and that there. It's something like, even the HasLabs now, it's something you have to really sit down and consider. Am I going to put this much money on something and then have to wait probably a year maybe to actually get it? So I know you have some thoughts around the actual process of it, Scotty.
And what Adam's saying there,
I've got to be honest, and I mentioned this before, like I don't like corporate, like the largest of toy companies, Hasbro and Mattel, using a crowdfunding model, because I just, for corporations that have a lot of money to basically, first of all, say, we're not even going to invest in the tooling to come up with something special unless our customers fund that for us. And secondly, we're not going to even be accountable for like real creative thought and developing of concepts. Like, we're going to outsource that decision making as well to fans. I don't really like that. With that said, I think crowdsourcing as a as like a model can be fantastic. I mean, so during our Halloween episode last year, we looked at some of the awesome work that like indie toy makers are making in terms of like fun horror crossovers. While you were setting it up, Deano, I was trying to go back and find the images that I saved from that episode with some of those awesome indie toy companies that are putting out in very small production runs, like wickedly detailed small production runs of figures. Like if a company like that, or even a company like Mondo, was to crowdfund something, I can be like, okay, that's fair enough. But I don't think Hasbro and Mattel need to be doing that. And the other thing is, I honestly think if those guys didn't crowdfund, they would probably produce better toys because they would be having real skin in the game to like risk investing in something, that it's like they can't afford for it not to be a success. So to me, that breeds like a better level of product for a consumer. But anyway, that's my soapbox aside. But so if it was something that I was going to back, firstly, let me say goodnight to Nate. Good night, Nate.
Thank you, Nate.
No. Thanks for hanging out, buddy.
Firstly, it would have to work with my collection, so it would have to work with vintage figures. This is just me personally, if I'm going to back something. And then it would also have to like be something that I need, not just like a cool new blimp. As someone suggested in the chat, a blimp. We spoke about a blimp. Deano mentioned a mutant module. I don't have a mutant module, but I'd love to just get a vintage mutant module. For me, what it would have to do, it would have to be a display diorama piece. One thing that I often think about is, and Turtles, believe it or not, in my opinion, they weren't the best, but like, like some of those classic toy commercials, the sets that they created for toy commercials, and it makes you wonder, like, hang on, why didn't they release that as a toy or whatever? Like, so there's some turtle commercials that do stick in my mind. I don't know if you guys remember the commercial that had the foot ski and had the sewer tubes in like a subterranean water-filled sewer chamber. Now, I know that's not really practical, but picking up what Deano was suggesting and taking it a step further, I was imagining like a multi-tier, very wide display diorama, subterranean, above ground, but with chambers for everything. So you've got a big subterranean cavity where you slot your vintage Technodrome. Next to that, you got a two-layer area where you slot your sewer playset so that the street level lines up with the street. And then, Deano mentioned like apartments in April's apartment. I'm imagining more like tiers of rooftops where you almost have like little rooftop platforms where you can display your different sets of figures, and then maybe even some suspended areas where you can suspend your aerial vehicles or your Killer Bee and your Needle Nose, and then maybe some other areas where you can park the van. I'm just imagining like a massive multi-level display that effectively means I get to turf out 2 detolfs and just display my whole turtle collection in that instead.
That would be insane.
So, because like I've thought about like when like sooner rather than later I'm going to empty all these and start again because I want to put lights in, and I've thought about like would it be possible to get some like detolf backdrops that have like above ground brickwork and below like a sewer motif underneath just to display behind my figures. So a crowdfunded like multi-level diorama setup where all the vintage figures and vehicles and play sets all slot into it on different levels. That would definitely get me excited, and
that's what you'd need. That's what you'd need to back something like that. There's a comment I made. This is about stretch goals, and Hasbro does this where they lock figures behind these goals for people to back it. So I think it is 1,700 unlocks the last figure that you can get. Yeah, and there's a couple of bad points about that. Like, one, if you don't unlock that, do you ever get that figure? Or they just say, too bad, we're not even going to make it, it's gone. What was the other one? The rarity of these things, if you don't back it now, then after a month when the backing is finished, everyone that did has now got it, and it becomes super rare to get. So, for me, it was just a little concept I thought we'd have a 15-minute chat about with the PlayLabs. I'm not a massive fan of how they do these Hasbro PlayLabs sort of thing. So it would have to be really cool, really cool.
Like And going back to that concept of like a large multi-tiered display diorama for vintage figures, vehicles, and playsets, everything slots in. It could be modular, similar to the NECA one, because that could feed into the stretch goals model. Like the more people back it, the bigger it gets, so to speak. And the other thing that they could do is, we could get some packaged in Playmates figures that we never got in the vintage line, Stone Warriors and that sort of thing. But again,
so what would you be backing in that concept that you came up with? Oh, that's a pretty cool concept. What do you reckon that's going to be costing us to have to back?
I mean, honestly, $1,000.
Okay.
$1,000 in postage.
Yeah, that's the other thing, because the way, because Playmates could cheap out and make a lot of it cardboard and a lot of it collapse and stuff like that. But again, that goes back to I'm not paying $1,000 for that if that's the case. You know what I mean? So there's different ways to look at it. But yeah, postage would be an absolute killer.
I like the concept if they, like you said, with the different figures. Like we didn't get a human version of Baxter Stockman. I've always whinged about. Like if Playmates came to us and said, like, not to us personally, but to the fans, and put it out there and said, listen, what's a vintage figure that we didn't get? Because there's a couple other bad guys that were in the cartoon. There was like a bug dude that Mikey, I forgot the name of the dude, but there was a couple other ones that we didn't get. And like I'd love for Playmates to ask people that, and then you could put in your options, and then we actually see a new figure. A new
100% instead of death by reissues. I agree 100%.
That would definitely sweeten the deal.
Yeah. Like they'll put up photos of like they did a couple of months ago. They put up photo of Half Court and all these vintage figures. Like, and everyone's thinking, oh, they're going to start doing reissues of them. And it's like they won't, because they're doing the reissues of the ones we don't really want. To be honest, they're just going to keep doing the brothers in my eyes, where they do the pizza shooting one.
We never thought they would re-release the Technodrome with all of the parts. So.
Well, they're not re-releasing it. It's smaller. It's different. So I mean, but very very close.
I
still don't believe it, but it looks like it's
Pre-orders are going. But that was just something I just thought we'd chuck in there. I am conscious of time now, so
it's a fun topic. Let me just run through. Let me just make sure I've touched on all these comments. But no, definitely, it's fun to throw that around. Scotty, yes, it is, mate. It's 10:38 here, so we're getting on. But Adam said Super 7 put out a party wagon. It's $1,000. When you think about a Super 7 party wagon being $1,000, what I'm suggesting is probably all of a sudden becoming closer to $5,000 now. But
no, that was a nice party wagon. I must admit. But,
Samurai Castle.
That would be cool.
I like the pizza shop idea that I think Phil suggested.
Samurai Pizza Cats. Yep.
Yeah. Street Shots crossover.
I don't need that in my life.
Super 7 still cancel figures if they don't get enough orders yet. Yep.
I like what you're saying with the custom toys too, Scotty. Like there was a Collector Dibs did a My Pet Monster Slash recently, and the missus said to me I could buy it if I wanted to, and we were going to look into it, but they released 5. He released 5 of one color and then 5 of another color, and they were gone in seconds. It was just bang, gone. You
like pre-orders.
Yeah. So he basically says there's a time they're going to get released, and within seconds it just gets bang, sold. So getting some of those custom toys is a very hard thing. Like the one I've got, a Muckman here, that was bought in an auction. That's the only reason I got that. You know, and it's
cool.
But I would like to see your vintage figures.
Phil's made the call about if Star Wars get a cantina, how about a pizza hut? Well, look, in my imaginary large scale, above ground, below ground diorama, we at least need a pizza shot. I'm thinking. Remember, like during the first season, they go to the Ninja Pizza joint.
Yeah,
we need a Ninja Pizza. And Scotty, what I'm imagining is like the ultimate deluxe version of what we all made with like boxes and blankets and stuff as a kid. So you're 100% right. Until Mum needed the furniture back. Yeah, that's it. Have you guys seen
I've always been
modular sewer playset that's coming? I have not seen that.
I haven't seen it either.
They do some cool toys, but
our news guy didn't tell us about them.
Alrighty, I think that just about brings us up to date. Oh yeah, of course, Sean. Yeah, we're not all on the same time zone, but here in Sydney, yeah, absolutely. Alrighty.
A Vanilla Ice figure.
A Vanilla Ice figure.
How have they not done that?
A Vanilla Ice
Kind of
figure in a Playmate style, like a toon style figure. That'd be sick.
But even
I
a
found a trading card the other day of Vanilla Ice. It was like a Skybox one. I was like,
Yeah,
that's
a
awesome.
NECA Secret of the Ooze Vanilla Ice.
Yeah. All right. Well,
We'll
you want to start wrapping her up?
Yep, we'll wrap her up. We've been going now for about an hour 40, so we'll bring it home. Guys, everyone in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Make sure, if you're not already, you give these boys a follow on Instagram. Their Instagrams are in the description below. The link to Dean and Sarah's YouTube channel is in the description below, so check it out. Give those guys a sub if you haven't done already. And we'll see you back in a few weeks for the next episode. Anything else that you guys want to add before I send us off to the credits?
Yeah, I just wanted to add. So we're looking at our anniversary next one.
September.
Oh, okay. What episode's this?
We're 11.
So isn't that next month?
Maybe it's August then. No, because we remember we did back-to-back episodes around Mutant Mayhem and something like that. So
okay. Well, stay tuned for something.
We'll be back. We'll be back probably mid to late July. Yeah, we're definitely closing in on a year of doing mutagens, but I think we did a couple of back-to-back. You know, we did a couple of.
Might have to do an 11.5 just to get us to the right month. But anyway, thank you everyone in the chat for watching and hanging out with us, talking turtles and just getting into it.
It's been a blast. You guys are awesome.
Anniversary, mate. Jesus. It hurts.
You guys in the chat make it, so thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Take care, guys.
We've got to have like a cowabunga sign-off or something. We've got to come up with something.
Okay. For our anniversary, we'll come up with something.
Done.
All righty. Later, boys. Later, everybody in the chat. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time.
See you.
Happy Monday.